Hi guys, I'm Sam, welcome to Film Studios. So today I'm doing a top 10 horror films I think you should watch over this Halloween. So this Halloween, obviously coming up, and it's the first Halloween in I think it's 19 years or something. This had a full moon. So even though we're in lockdown, still a scary one. Yeah, so I've made a list of the 10 horror films I definitely think you should watch. They're personal opinions of mine and they're not ranked in any way. It doesn't go from best to worst, they're just in random orders. And yeah, they're not critics' opinions, they're just my opinions. So take from that what you will. Right, so the first one, the first film that I would definitely recommend watching is Sinister. So recently, Sinister has been put under a scientific study. I think they hooked people up to heart monitors and they made them watch 120 hours, I think it was, or something like that, of horror films. And Sinister was scientifically proven as the most scary. It raised their heart rate 36 beats per minute above what it should have been. Yeah, it's just as much as quite old. It's not stupidly old, but it's quite old. It's still a brilliant film. It stands to this day. There's a few old horror films that still are amazing, and Sinister is definitely one of them. Even though it's not stupidly old, like I said, it's still not up to date with modern horror. Okay, so the second set of films I'll say is the Conjuring Universe. I was just going to put the Conjurings in, so Conjuring 1 and 2, or I was just going to put 1 in, but they're all such good films, and I can't give half the list to the Conjuring Universe, it just wouldn't make sense. Obviously, there's some downfalls, you know, with some of the sequels and stuff, but they're still brilliant films. I thoroughly enjoy watching the Conjuring Universe. It's my favourite, I think it's one of the only horror universes, well, Insidious, but it's just amazing. Like, so you got Conjuring 1 and 2, absolutely amazing, then you got the Nun or the Annabelles, and it's just amazing how it's so amazing how they tied them all together and everything. It's just and they're all thoroughly enjoyable films. Conjuring 2 was the second ever horror film I watched, so it was one of the reasons I got so into horror films, but it was just such a good film. I thoroughly enjoyed it. But yeah, so all the Conjurings, amazingly well put together, and just amazing films overall. The third film, this is just one standalone film, is the Babadook. So recently there was a poll put on that Bible, and they said the scariest monster, I think it was. So that includes looks, presence, everything like that, and Babadook came first. And I enjoyed the film before I even saw that, but that just kind of sealed it for me as one of quite a good horror. It's not amazing how it's been put together, but it's the film itself, and I think the way they did the Babadook was really, really well done. The acting was good. It could have been, you know, slightly improved, but that is what it is. But the Babadook was just I enjoyed it. It wasn't an amazing film. It wasn't, you know, Oscar winning, but it was a thoroughly enjoyable film. Number 4 is Woman in Black. Now this is more if you haven't really watched many horrors before, or you're not comfortable with watching them by yourself, or you haven't really properly gone to horror. Woman in Black is probably the starter film, is what I'd say. Woman in Black is what I'd start people with. It's one of the ones where if you watch it and you enjoy it, you know you like horror, and if you watch it and you don't enjoy it, you're probably not gonna like horror. It's one of those, it's like a gateway film. I watched it, I think it was 3rd or 4th horror film, and I enjoyed it. It was good. It had everything there to be an amazing horror film, and it was quite good. I don't think it was as good as other people say it is, but it is still a really good film, and I thoroughly recommend it. Number 5 then, it's very cliche, but it's cliche for a reason, is The Shining. The Shining is one of the best horror films to date. Even though it came out so long ago, it's still up to this day, it still stands as one of the best horror films. People will say it's cliche because everyone watches The Shining, but there's a reason everyone watches The Shining. It's an amazing film, and it just, yeah, like I said, it stands up to this day. It has a sequel that's recently come out. I think it came out in 2019 or 2018. Is Doctor Sleep. I watched that. It was okay. It was just a sequel that kind of let down. I enjoyed it, but I enjoyed it more for the nostalgia rather than for anything else. It was just one of those films. It was just like, it was enjoyable once. I don't want to watch it again because it's just not that type of film. The next set of films on the list, so this is a set of films, is Insidious. Now, Insidious is the reason I love horror. Insidious 1 is the first ever horror film I ever watched, and it's the reason I love horror to this day. Insidious 1, 2, 3, and 4 are, I thoroughly enjoy them. Again, this is my opinion, you can hate it if you want, but the Insidiouses, I love them. Insidious 1 and 2 especially are my favourite horror films to this day. And as much as people kind of disagree with me with that, that is what it is. If you definitely like a bit of horror, Insidious is definitely one you should watch. Next on the list, this is kind of a break from the hardcore horror and everything. This is Zombieland. So, obviously 1 and 2. These films are just, what can I say? They're just amazing. They're funny. And it's zombies. It's more of a comedy and it's not really horror. But it's a nice break from all the hardcore horror, and it will make you laugh. I got showed these by Morgan, and they're up there with with probably my favourite zombie film. I haven't seen many zombie films, that's on me, but they're up there with some of my favourite zombie films. Okay, so the next film is The Blair Witch Project. So, as much as this film isn't the best, I think it still stands as a decent horror film. I enjoy it more because of just the real life aspect to it. Like, it is literally kids recording in a forest. It's more the real life aspect that really shows me that it's a good film, that makes me enjoy it. Like the cast on the film actually struggle with mental disorders that they gained from the film. It was an amazing, I thoroughly enjoyed the film. Obviously people have different opinions and that's fine, because art is subjective, but I think it's an amazing film. Next film, possibly I'm not going to say it's the best film on this list, but it is one of them, definitely, is Hereditary. Now, Hereditary is, I've only watched it recently, like last 2 months, I think it was. And do not watch it if you can't handle a bit of gore, but it is amazing. It's a brilliant film. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and just the story is amazing, and just the way they structure it is amazing. The acting is impeccable, especially for young actors. It's just an amazing film, and even it was such a scary film that Alex Wolff, who played Peter in the film, actually suffers with PTSD this day because it was that scary filming it. So yeah, it's just an amazing film. 5 out of 5. Like, people had different opinions with it. Some people didn't enjoy it, but for me it's one of the best horrors currently out there. Obviously people have different opinions and stuff, and it is in some places it is quite like, why is so stupid, but again it keeps you on edge, and like I thoroughly enjoyed the film. Now the final film, everyone knows about this film, and it's also got obviously something else that's linked in the universe. So Get Out and Us. I know they're kind of not really linked, but they are as well. They're just brilliant films, absolutely amazing. Get Out is probably the main one, I'd say, because it's just so psychological that it's just insane. It's really well put together, really well shot, acting's really good. It's the same with Us, so Us is, the acting in it is impeccable, and yeah, it's just all amazing. So that was my list of top 10 horror films to definitely watch this Halloween. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you have any horror films that you love, or you differed with my opinions, and we can argue. I'm joking. I can scrap you out in the comments. No, I'm joking. Let me know what you think in the comments, and let me know if there's any horror films that you personally love. Cheers guys, thank you.